What do Balaam, the ancient seer from the Bible, and modern-day U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken have in common? It seems to me they both have a knack for withholding critical facts. Stick around to see how this curious connection unfolds in today's video. Today we're going to dive into Parashat Balak and draw some intriguing parallels to contemporary events. Specifically, we're going to look at how critical information gets withheld and the impact it has both in ancient times and today. So let's get into it. Our story begins in Parashat Balak, which recounts the tale of Balak, the king of Moab. After witnessing Israel's crushing victory over the Amorites, Balak feared his kingdom would be next. Instead of facing Israel in battle, which he thought might end badly for him, he decided to hire Balaam, a renowned seer, to curse the Israelites and weaken them. When Balak's dignitaries approached Balaam, he told them he could only act with God's approval. That night, God appeared to Balaam saying, "Do not go with it. You must not curse the people, for they are blessed." Balaam relayed the following message to the dignitaries the next morning. He said, "Go back to your country, for the Lord will not let me go with you." End of story, right? Not quite. Balak was undeterred, and he sent a more distinguished group of dignitaries and offered Balaam a reward if he agrees to curse the Israelites. Balaam again insisted that he could do nothing against God's will, but said he'd consult God once more. For reasons that are not entirely clear, God allowed Balaam to go with Balak, but only if he did exactly as God commanded. Balaam made this clear to Balak, yet Balak persisted, taking Balaam to various locations to curse Israel, believing that seeing them would make the curse effective. But each time Balaam tried to curse Israel, he ended up blessing them instead. Balak became frustrated, and eventually he and Balaam parted ways. The question is, why did Balak keep trying after Balaam told him that God disapproved of the mission? Was Balak just stubborn? Was he desperate? Or is there some other explanation? I believe the answer lies in what Balaam did not tell Balak. Listen carefully. God said, "You must not curse the people, for they are blessed." But Balaam only said, "The Lord will not let me go with you." Had Balaam mentioned that Israel was blessed, Balak might have realized that all efforts to curse them were futile. But by withholding this key fact, Balaam led Balak to believe that with Balaam's help and with bringing of sacrifices, God might change his mind. Fast forward to today, and we see a similar scenario with Antony Blinken and the IDF's efforts in Gaza. Despite Israel's attempts to avoid civilian casualties in its war against Hamas, and despite Hamas embedding itself within civilian populations and infrastructure, Israel often faces international blame when civilians are harmed. After Israel's recent attack targeting Muhammad Dif, Blinken denounced Israel, as usual, for the unacceptably high civilian casualties. And here's where the parallel to Balaam comes in. A critical fact is overlooked or withheld. In this case, the IDF's extraordinary measures to protect civilian lives. John Spencer, a retired U.S. Army officer and expert in urban warfare, states that no army has taken such measures to protect enemy civilians as Israel has. Yet, this is barely acknowledged, while the IDF faces constant criticism. Spencer's analysis points out that Israel has followed the laws of war and implemented the best practices in civilian harm mitigation, often exceeding international standards. Critics, like Blinken, by withholding these facts and maintaining unrealistic expectations, do more harm than good. Just as Balaam's omission led Balak to false hopes and expectations, modern critics who withhold critical facts about Israel's military efforts lead to misguided expectations and blame. Understanding and sharing the full picture is crucial for realistic and fair evaluations, whether in ancient stories or contemporary conflicts.